Hey everybody, my name's Robin and welcome to what's soon to become my new shop. This week I focused on demolishing the existing structure in preparation for the new walls soon to be going in. Not everything went to plan, but we'll get to that later. For now, let me show you how the demolition went. In the last video we left off on, I'd started working on digging the trench for the foundation. This side of the house had concrete right up to the walls, so this needed to be removed first. I started out with a light tap so I didn't accidentally damage anything, and as you'll see, it didn't actually require more than that. Using a sledgehammer I could crack the concrete, then come back with a pickaxe to remove the pieces. It's really interesting looking at the way this all came together over the years. So here you can see dirt. Someone came along and thought, I'm going to put down some concrete, and they put down this slab here which is 50 mil thick. Then the next people came along and decided we're just going to put a slab over the top of that. But because in the beginning the slab wasn't done properly, regardless of the two slabs that have been poured over it, they both failed dramatically. So a couple of fairly light hits with a sledgehammer and it all just crumbles. This is also a good example of why you use rebar or mesh to hold it all together, because there's no steel in this. So simple light taps, that force just instantly cracks it, and without that steel it just all comes apart. Around the other side of the house was more concrete, but this was even thinner. There was also a concrete drain that must have been put in at some point to direct the water around the house to a single point in the corner. Here I'm cutting up the old stair supports. When this house was originally moved here, this was the back staircase. Since then a deck has been built off the back, so these old stairs need to be removed. The next thing I need to do is, with an angle grinder, score a line along the inside of this concrete, because the footing is going to be as wide as this. And the reason I'm cutting this line here is so that when I come back with a sledgehammer and break this concrete off like I've done here, it leaves a nice line. So from the inside, when the footing comes up to here, you're going to have a nice, uniform, aesthetically more pleasing line on the floor. A much better tool here would be a demolition saw. You can hire these, but I thought I'd give it a go with my 125mm grinder with a diamond blade instead. I've got to be honest, I was expecting this slab to be in much worse condition, but knocking through it, it's actually not too bad. So what I'm probably going to do is only put up footings in a couple of areas. I'll run this by the builder first, obviously, but only put in footings where the concrete's really bad. There's a couple of spots where it's way too hard for me to get through with a sledgehammer, so I'm pretty sure that it would be alright to put the wall on top of. The next job is to get rid of all these panels. This is when the real demo starts. These tin sheets were most likely added to this house decades after it was originally moved here. The wood supports they were screwed into, however, are almost certainly original. Everything was put together with nails or bolts, so removing it was relatively simple. The bolts that went through the concrete posts were so old that they had rusted in place in the wood. The only way through them was with a saw. People often ask me, where do I get the hardwoods that I use in my projects? It seems like I just have this unlimited supply of amazing hardwood. This is a perfect example. All the wood that's coming off these walls is, I'm not sure if it's original, but it's pretty old. So it's all some kind of gum or some Australian hardwood, I think. Just a little bit of time taking out the nails, put a little bit of work into this, and I will get some amazing, amazing hardwood out of these pieces. I created a pile in the back corner of the yard. This corner will eventually be dug up to fix a drainage issue, so if the grass dies under the sheets, it's okay. Here's a little tip. If you're ever demoing glass, get into the habit of taping it up so that if it ever breaks while you're taking it out, all the pieces stay together, and then I can get this entire thing into the dumpster in one go. The original goal with this panel was to use this as a fence on the other side of the house where there's a garage door. That was going to come off and this was going to replace it. The problem is, this is so incredibly heavy. I can only assume that this is original because it's most likely all some kind of hardwood. I've decided I'm actually going to take this apart, keep this wood, use this for projects because it's such a nice wood, and buy some treated pine for that side and make that fence up. Two reasons. Firstly, this is really good wood. You don't want to not use this. It's just too good to just be stuck up on a wall. And secondly, the amount of weight that's on this to maneuver this into place is going to be incredibly difficult. So it just makes sense to rather build a new one from scratch and use treated pine, which is going to be far easier to work with. After that, all I had left were 3 panels. This one was a bit tricky because I had to work around the drain pipe coming down from the upstairs toilet. And then after that, there was only 2 left. And this is the part where I was hoping to say the bricklayer is coming in soon to start the wall, but unfortunately that's not happening yet. After I'd pulled all those sheets off the existing concrete posts, I noticed quite a few serious cracks in a couple of the posts. This got me thinking that it might be a good time to get the levels straight on the house, considering the wall's going to be going in soon. So I called up a couple house levelers to get some ideas of what they would charge and what they could do. As we went through the house, we picked up more and more problems. And the best way forward for me is to remove all of those concrete posts, replace them with steel stumps, and replace all of the timber bearers with new steel beams. That way, any renovations that I do up here on top of that are not going to be affected by any future timber movement. So for now, everything's been put on hold until I know what I'm doing with the posts and bearers. And once that's sorted out, then I can get back onto building the workshop. So a minor inconvenience, not the end of the world. It just might mean investing a little bit more money and time into the house before getting onto the workshop. I'm not too unhappy about the decision. It's not exactly what I wanted, but the idea is that it's going to set up a good foundation and it's going to get the house in a really good position. So all of the renovations that I do upstairs are going to be so much better. All right, well, that's it for this video. I'm not sure when the next video is going to be, but I will definitely bring you guys along for the leveling and re-stumping. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how this all comes together. And as soon as that's taken care of, then I will be back onto building the workshop. If you feel like I've earned it or you want to stay on top of all the videos coming up with this build, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be really helpful too. Thanks for watching. My name is Robin, and I'll talk to you guys soon.